Hi there, I'm Audrey Adams. Welcome back to the show. As I mentioned just before the break, I have a legend in the house today, Flo Anthony. You know her as a radio show host, a reporter for the New York Daily News, publisher, editor-in-chief of Black Noir magazine, blogger, and, of course, author. And she joins me to talk about her newest book, Deadly Stuff Players. Welcome, Flo Anthony, to talk about it.
Hi, Audrey. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
And I am so happy that you were here because I've been trying to get you here for a while.
Well, I'm happy I finally got here.
Yeah, folks be taking up your time and everything. And
oh, no. I think it was snowing very hard the last time. Tonight is a pretty cold night, but I can take the cold. At least I'm not afraid I'm going to slip and fall. So.
That's true. That is very true. Unlike a lot of the characters you have in Deadly Stuff Players.
Yeah, they do a lot of slipping and falling.
But I have a feeling, Flo, that you planned that. So this is a sequel then to your first novel, Keeping Secrets and Telling Lies.
It's not really a sequel, but the same lead characters are in there. Valerie Rollins, who's a gossip columnist, and Rome Nyland, who's a NFL Hall of Fame player turned private investigator. And so, they're in there, but it didn't continue where it left off. It's actually, been 10 years since I did that first book.
Yes.
But it's like 3 years in the book, from when they solved the other crime.
So everyone knows what you do for a living, aside from writing.
I'm a gossip columnist.
A gossip columnist. So how much of this book is attributed to your history as a gossip columnist?
I would say about 75%.
Huh?
A lot of things that happened to Valerie actually happened to me in my life, things pertaining to Valerie. And then a lot of the characters are also based on, news occurrences through the years.
Through the years, and I'm sure you have a lot of them. So They are charged then with solving a murder.
Yeah, actually, Rome comes to Valerie. He's been hired by Victor Dumas, who's a black.com billionaire, to find his wife, Andrea, who's, got drug problems, all kind of problems. And then Val gets a call, and she said, well, you don't have to worry about finding her anymore. She's dead. And so they go on this 5-day journey to find the murderer.
So lots of intrigue.
Mm-hmm.
And because gossip normally involves sex, lots of sex?
Well, lots of sex, and everybody sees the Zane Presents up there, and they're all like, oh, my God, sex.
Yeah.
And there's actually 6 sex scenes in the book. One is a little spicier than the other ones, one between Rome and turquoise. The other ones are more poetic.
Okay, so you have some that are raw.
Yeah,
and the others
the Roman turquoise, the first sex scene with them is raw, but the rest of them are very poetic.
Mm-hmm. And poetic means?
Poetic, the sex is there, but it's just they're very poetic. It's just like a lot of people, when they read this, like the characters, Roshonda, she's like a former hooker turned reality star, and Vance Dumas, he's the son of Victor and Andrea, and he's a black jockey. And so, there's a scene, I think, where, Vance says, let me pour the champagne on you. It tastes better on you than in a glass. So I'm just saying it's very poetic.
Right. Oh, so we can borrow some lines then.
Borrow a lot of lines from me, yeah. Or from Vance or Roshonda or whomever.
Well, it would be really, Flo, from you.
Yeah, but it's them.
They're
They're the ones saying it all there, so.
So when you write a book, people tend to get a bit of insight into your own personality, right? Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that?
Well, I'm an open book. It doesn't matter with me, because due to the fact that I've been, telling on people and reporting people's lives, for most of my life now, at least most of my adult life, I kind of could care less what people say about me. And it's funny because a friend of mine, she wrote me a note and she said, who knew you had such a devious mind, when she read this. And I guess I do have a devious mind, or I just like to go beyond, what's the norm.
Right. But you've also lived through your work as a gossip columnist. You've actually lived and experienced through other people a lot of the things that you
not everything that they're experiencing.
Right. We don't want to go into
players.
everything. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I should have had so much fun in life as everybody's running around having in deadly stuff players. But yeah, like I said, a lot of the things that actually happened to Valerie have happened to me. Mm-hmm. And the character Royale is based on an actual baseball player's cousin who killed him and took over his life. The group Sweet for You and the character Sweet Lyrics, they're actually based on, real people. So there's quite a few people that are kind of based on real people.
Mm. Do they recognize themselves?
I hope not. Well, most of them are dead. I let them be based on dead people. So
I like that. No lawsuits.
No lawsuits, nothing.
Yeah,
I know, but it's not a thin veil. It's a pretty thick veil. Mm-hmm, so it would be hard to guess anyway, I think.
All right. So do you find that which is more intriguing, real life or fiction?
Well, I've always been this great reader and this great writer since I was a little kid. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people are, surprised that I'm writing novels, but I've always written short stories and poetry and all of that. So, I'll take fiction over real life.
Any day, right?
Any day of the week. I'll take the fiction.
So do you have a favorite? What's your favorite scene in the book?
Gosh, I like it all. My favorite scene that I wrote, or just that's kind of crazy that I wrote, or just my favorite scene, period.
Your favorite scene. Well, let's do both.
My favorite scene
Flo.
that I don't even know where it came to mind was I blow up a methamphetamine laboratory.
Oh.
And then I said, you know what, maybe I went too far. And then I read Jackie Collins' latest book, Power Trip, and she has pirates hijacking a ship. Mm-hmm. I said, oh, no, I didn't go too far.
Right.
If the real pros didn't go too far. And then, my other favorite scene, I guess it would have to be the horse race toward the end of the book.
The horse race.
The horse race, yeah. Wilden Out and Trader Lee and Full Spectrum all racing at the Hollywood Cash Call Futurity. Yeah. I think it would have to be that, because I love horse racing, and I really got into the horse racing. It's like, well, come on this one, come on that one, and I really had the announcer, saying which horse was ahead and everything like that. So I think it would have to be that one.
Mm-hmm. What page? It's like, how sometimes people start at the back of the book and read forward.
Read forward. I'd have to grab it, just give you the page.
Here you are, my dear.
Out. A lot of people would probably think that I would like when Valerie and Victor finally get together, but I mean, that was all well and cute. But I really, really like the horse race.
Mm. Is it sexy too?
No, it's not that it's all that sexy, but it's just the fact that they're actual horse races. It even starts out as actually chapter 40, 8 days later, Bedford, Hollywood Park. Welcome to the 33rd running of the Cash Call Futurity, said the announcer over the sound system at the racetrack. This is the $1 million road to the Derby Showdown. Electricity was in the air at Bedford, Hollywood Park. I'm going to jump over to, here we go. Now, so Victor says to Valerie, all we want to do today is beat the Todd Squad. And she says, well, who is the Todd Squad? Asked Turquoise. Any horse trained by Todd Fletcher and written by Julian Castellano from Windstar Farms. They are our biggest competition. Now, actually, Todd Fletcher is probably the best horse trainer that ever lived. And Julian Castellano in real life is my favorite jockey. So then they go, and they're off. Number 7, Full Spectrum, written by Vance Dumas, has jumped way out in front of the other horses. His number 2, Snitch, trying to come behind them. Number 4, Dark Skies, is a distant third. Number 4, Dark Skies, is passing number 2, Snitch. But number 7, Full Spectrum, is at the finish line. It's number 7, Full Spectrum, the winner. So Val, Victor, Turquoise, and Rome were on their feet cheering, and Val hugged Victor. Wow, that was some race. So I kind of like this because I love horses.
So it was calling the race.
Yeah.
Actually calling the race.
I love horses, and I love horses so much. I'll keep this over here in case you want me to read some more.
Oh, that's okay. I was going to say, give me that book.
Give it back. Give it back, just in case. And I got to sign up for you. But I love, I wanted to have the book culminate at the Kentucky Derby.
Yes.
Around 10 years ago, I can't remember who the author was, they put out a novel the days leading up to the Oscars, the 5 days leading up to it, and it culminated at the Vanity Fair party, which, is everybody's dream to attend the Vanity Fair party.
Right.
So I was going to do this murder mystery culminated at the Kentucky Derby, but then when I got the deal with Zane, she gave me November the 19th as a release date. So I said, well, Kentucky Derby's in May. Let me see if there's something that, big race then.
Yes.
And then I went online and discovered the Hollywood Cash Futurity race, which is every December, the second week of December. So I had it culminate there.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
It really helps to be in the know when you're
Yeah,
writing a
you know
book.
what? I'm going to tell you something. It's so much easier writing a book now. With Keeping Secrets, Telling Lies, I had to walk places and look places. And now, how does Rome get from, 1 street to downtown L.A.? All you got to do is type it on the internet and you can get the route.
Oh, that's right.
There's a whole different ball game out there now.
Wow. I hadn't thought about that. Isn't that? Yeah. So when you write, how do you write? Where do you start in your mind?
At the beginning. With this book, I had in mind, as I said, I wanted to do it with the black jockey and the horse racing. I came into making his dad a black.com billionaire kind of along the way. But I definitely wanted it about black jockey and the horse racing. So I kind of started there. And then you always start with Val because she's the main character. And she and Rome met during my last book. Mm-hmm. So this time I started out with, Rome calling Val and Val doing what I do every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning. She's watching reruns of Entourage.
Keeping it real.
I kept it very real. Yeah. So that's where I started. And I worked every day because I only had 3 months to actually write it once I got the deal. So I
What?
start, 3 months. So I start work anyway at 7:35 in the morning. So I got up every morning at 4 and wrote until time to be on air. And then I wrote at periods during the day. And then after I got off the air, because I don't get off the air till 5 o'clock at night, I wrote till about 7 or 8 and all day Saturday and Sundays. And if I'm in bed and I'm thinking and I get an idea, right away I get up and I write it down. Or if I come up with a line for somebody to say, right away I get up and I write it down. I've always kept a pad next to my bed and a pen anyway because people are constantly calling me all night, with tips and
right.
things. They are. It's always has happened.
So you wrote this book in 3 months from the
Yes.
time you got the contract.
Mm-hmm.
That's an extraordinary feat. I mean, you just kept it flowing.
Yeah, well, originally I had maybe 3 chapters and an outline, and so that's what I gave to Zane, and she said, no, I need a synopsis. So she gave me the synopsis of her new book to follow.
Okay.
So then I wrote the synopsis and sent it over to her, and then
Wow.
she gave me the deal. Yeah.
But that's still quite,
It wasn't
How many
as hard
pages?
as you think, 336. Yeah, because it's over a 5-day period until the culmination of the horse race, and then later that night the Santa sleigh ball, and then I skipped to Christmas morning. But so of a 5-day period, it's like, okay, it's Monday, I gotta get Val, or Sunday, I gotta get Val and Rome out of Las Vegas and back to Los Angeles. And then now I have to get, Valerie and Rome doing this, or now I got to get Rome attacked by these other cars. So then I have to move to Tuesday when Victor comes back to Los Angeles. So, I wanted a scene in Mr. Chow, so we got to deal with that day.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just kind of, with every day what I had to get him done, I have to have Dee Dee. It's Wednesday. I need Dee Dee now to come to try to kill Valerie. I mean, so I just, I really, when you go in day by day,
yes.
I mean, that's just kind of what you have to
Right.
do.
But with character development and, just flowery stuff, I write, but I've never attempted to write a book. So I'm always really
The
curious.
character development isn't that hard. because I had an idea of the characters. Some of the characters came into being as I went along. You know, I have to say that, but I basically always kind of had the characters that I wanted, but a lot of them came into being, and then I had to give them background. In fact, the first draft that I gave to Zane, she sent it back saying that I had to give more background into the characters to make all of the characters likable. I said, even the villain? She said, yeah, even villain. So I did that. I sat down and I did a background for Turquoise. I always had a background for Roshonda. You know, I'm originally from Mississippi. I was born there, you know, so I made her from Mississippi, a small town. I'm not from Philadelphia, Mississippi. I was actually born in Lorman, in Alcorn State's Infirmary. But I'm always thinking anyway. I probably think too much. My mind is always twisting and turning. So, you know, the characters kind of just came to me, and the book actually kind of just flowed out of me. No pun intended.
Because I think you write a column as well.
I write a lot of columns.
Exactly. So how do you manage then to juggle your writing of the columns with the book?
I had to do it. Tuesdays is my main column writing day. It's when I write the Go With The Flow column. That's it goes into the Amsterdam News, the Philadelphia Sunday Sun, BRE, and the Columbus Times, and then on my blog when I remember to put it on my blog. And then I also write a monthly column for Resident Magazine, and then I'm a contributor to the Confidential column on the New York Daily News, and I don't get paid unless I give them breaking stories. So all day long I'm also looking for stories for them that are, you know, breaking, that no one has seen before, and exclusive stories. So you just have to kind of work it and to be on a schedule. And because of the fact that, you know, I'm on with this radio, and I did my radio show every day also.
Right.
And I also have to, you know, write and record 4 stories for that. And then I'm on live with about 15 stations all day. You just, you have to stay on a schedule. I'm used to a daily schedule like that. So that's kind of what I do.
So you're always in a creative mode, and therefore everything that you write during the day, it's all creative, and it all flows.
I've always
and sort of keeps those creative juices flowing.
I've always pretty much been in a creative mode most of my life. I kind of now as I've gotten older, I've kind of taken music and things that I used to do kind of out of it that I would like to get back to, but I don't know when I do it, and I don't have any instruments at my house. So I guess it doesn't matter. So
you can do it on your phone.
Oh, no, there's no keyboards or
Right,
anything
I
on the
hear
phone,
you.
no guitar strings.
Right,
so.
right.
But yeah, I've always been somebody in a creative mode, you know. Probably a little too creative at times.
Yeah, and I think people, when they pick up Deadly Stuff players, are going to find out just how creative.
Or crazy, one of them.
Well, it's okay. Creative and crazy, it works.
They go together.
Right? Exactly.
They go together.
Exactly. So where can folks get the book?
You can get it at your local bookstores here in New York at Barnes & Nobles, all over town. And then you also get it on Amazon.com. I'm in a lot of book clubs, the Black Expressions Book Club, the Doubleday Book Club, the Rhapsody Book Club, the Military Book Club.
Right.
I've never
There's
seen
Go On
some.
Girl.
I don't think I'm in that book club.
Okay.
But I'm book of the month for January, I think, for Black Expressions. And then also I'm on booksamillion.com.
Wow.
You know, but mainly Amazon.com and Barnes & Noble.
Okay. All right. And you guys know where those places are. You
can
go on your
find
computer.
them. You can load it down
That's
on
it.
Kindle. You know, you can go, order the actual book and put it on your bookshelves, which is nice.
Yeah, that's always very nice.
Yes.
To be able to hold it. And I'm old-fashioned when it comes to a book. I want to hold it.
And magazines.
Turn
I
the
agree.
pages. Yeah. And that's sort of going away.
Yeah, it is, because on Amazon.com, the sales are much better on Kindle than they are a regular book.
Wow.
It's amazing. So a lot of people do. Also, you can get it on iTunes. Get it all over the place. We're trying to sell some books. We can get it everywhere.
Are you doing an audiobook?
No, I haven't done one. I guess Simon & Schuster didn't do that. But it's iTunes, it's Kindle, it's quite a few
iTunes,
places.
Kindle, Amazon.
Regular books.
All the places you guys would go to buy books. Put it on your phone.
Yeah.
Put it in your library. and think of Flo Anthony.
And Deadly Stuff Players. I'm actually working on a sequel called One Last Deadly Play. I'm sorry. One Last
Deadly Play.
I don't know how that call drifted out my mouth. Oh, that's
well, maybe that book is calling you. It's saying, Flo.
It should be One Less Deadly Call, but no, One Last Deadly Play.
Okay, so we can look for that one, next year?
I don't know. I haven't turned in a synopsis or anything to Zane yet to see if they even want it. But
it's nice that she has her own imprint. That's a good
fabulous.
thing. Yeah.
She sold over 3 million books. And there's 55 authors on Streetwear Books.
Yes.
So it's very exciting.
It is indeed. So, I can't let you leave, Flo, without talking about your career.
Okay.
You're a pioneer in the industry. You really are. And there are how many of us who have actually achieved your level even? I would say, who else?
Wendy Williams. She's gone. She surpassed my level.
But with Wendy, don't forget, you came before Wendy.
I did come before Wendy, and I'm a different type of gossip columnist than she was. Very, very different than she was and still is. A lot of things she does, I don't go there. But in my opinion, there's the only other person I think that kind of comes close to it. That's African America. Sandra Rose, she has a blog out of Atlanta. I don't really believe in bloggers too much. I only have this blog that I really sometimes don't even put anything on because I figured I had to keep up with the rest of the world. But, I think they're just renegades out here that write with the fairies in their heads. They're telling them to write, kind of like a fiction book or something.
Right.
But she's very good. And this other girl, Nicole Bitchy, she's very, very good, too. They're good.
But what I like about your gossip is that you speak from truth.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm very different. It's all very true. Even when people have thought it wasn't true, it was true. I've been very, very rarely wrong.
Right. And is that something that you really wanted to maintain, that whole truth? Because to be honest, you can make a lot of money telling half-truths.
Yeah, but you can get sued telling half-truths. Now, even though the people aren't suing because these blogs are so buck wild, they don't. But, I started at the New York Post where I was the, first African-American on the renowned Page 6. And then, really of general market media. Jamie Foster Brown's sister Stella, she was the secretary of Cups in Chicago. And then later when he passed, got that column, but at the time, even though I'm sure she contributed quite a bit, she was the secretary. And then there's a girl by the name of CJ in Minneapolis with the Minneapolis Star. Right. But I don't know if she was before or after me, but her stuff is still very different than mine. So I was the first, of what I do, and then the first in a tabloid. I also used to have a column in the National Examiner.
Right.
And they still have had no black columnist since me. Stephanie Smith works at Page 6 of the New York Post, and she is, a black woman now. But
you paved the way.
I paved the way, yeah, I did, single-handedly. Really, and even for all this tabloid TV, if the Post, if they wouldn't have had me with hard copy coming down there to interview me with things, there would not be the tabloid TV there is today. I started a lot of it. But I always have, strived just to tell the truth. You've got to, and it's to the point where, celebrities want you to tell their truth, where they call you and ask you, well, can you do this or can you break this story and everything. So it's very important. The integrity and now has totally gone out of gossip, though. There is none. Oh, no, not with all these crazy blogs out here. There's none.
So what do you think the future of gossip is?
Well, it's always going to be there because we always want to know about people. And then years ago, this psychiatrist was on TV, and he said that one of the reasons why celebrity gossip was good, it made the average person feel close to the celebrity. And then they felt that they could strive and achieve what the celebrity had achieved. And so that was very interesting to me. So it's always going to be there. And now with all these blogs, it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, this whole cult of celebrity, though. I mean,
yeah, it's a rough crew out there now. This crew out there now is rough. Yeah. The whole reality TV took it down another whole level. It took it gut bucket down. because you got all these regular people who are now bigger stars than all these people out here who've been working all their lives and gone to acting school half their lives.
Right, yeah.
You know, now just, you know, regular people can do anything. They could fart, run around, and they put it on TV.
That's true. I actually saw they're referring to
No.
they're referring to Justin Bieber's latest girlfriend as a celebrity or a star. And I said to myself, "Wow, you're just in the news and all of a sudden you're a star?" Huh?
Chantel Jeffries. Well, she's supposedly a model in Miami. Very beautiful young lady.
Very much so.
And she was actually trying to shop her store with Justin Bieber for $20,000.
Mm-hmm.
And now she went over to Panama with him. She had on all these new bikinis. I told my boyfriend they must have bought those bikinis and some new drawers when they got there because it wasn't time to do that. So she stopped the shopping. Maybe he gave her a better offer or a deal. But 10 years ago, she could have got, for somebody of Justin Bieber's caliber,
Yes.
she could have gotten $200,000 overseas for that story. But now, because of all these blogs and because of all this internet stuff, ain't nobody paying no money. I mean, at the most somebody would have tried to pay her is $300 or something. And furthermore, the licensing pictures wouldn't have helped because you could take the pictures off the internet.
True.
You know, a lot of times that's how people are making money with the licensing.
But hold on, if I were
pictures.
Justin, she wouldn't be in Panama with me if she was trying to sell me out. Hello?
I don't think he knew that.
But he's got to know it now.
Yeah, he might know it now, but she's probably denying it.
Oh. Okay, well, the blogs say that she's doing it. Flo, thanks so much for joining me on the show.
Thanks for having me. It's
I
been
really
a lot of
appreciate
fun.
It. Yeah, it's good. You know, I'll get you back here.
I would love
one
to
of these
come
days.
back.
Yeah,
Do
come
some
up on the
gossip.
hill in City College and do some gossip.
Do some gossip.
That's it. So, guys, don't forget, pick up the book, Deadly Stuff Players, and look for Flo's other book that's going to be coming out soon, right?
I hope so. I'm going to start working on it as soon as I get through the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's right, Super Bowl. Yeah. Doggone it. Maybe you'll come back and talk about that. I'm not going. I know you are.
I am. I'll be out there freezing.
Have a good time. I'm Audrey Adams. That's it for today's show. Up next, Jay Lee and the J-Spot. You've been listening to Talk with Audrey on WHCR 90.3 FM, the voice of Harlem. I'll see you next week.
WHCR 90.3 FM, New York.